We did have a comment corner that I wanted to bring up. We had two questions that I wanted, like, it was a series of questions, but I think two kind of ties into what we were talking about. And it's from one of our, top tier podcast supporters. Shout out, you know who, you know what I'm saying? That always has held us down. And the question that he asked essentially was, given the success of fan animation projects like Legend of a Dragon Ball Tale, where it kind of reimagined the world of Dragon Ball, do we feel that these fan projects are, well, one, how do we feel about that project as a whole? And then do we feel like, are they creating something new with some of these fan projects, or are they creating something derivative, like repetitive and, a different version of the same thing? With a lot of these fan projects coming out.
I don't like Super Saiyan 9 Goku. I'll tell you that.
No. Or the what if Goku was betrayed by his cousin and trapped in the hyperbolic time chamber for 45,000 years? Like, I'm like,
and then
why?
He comes out as a Megalodon Goku where he can use telepath, like Sasano Goku, just recreated in different form. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I will say that there is interesting concepts, but they're never like quite done with the taste that suits Dragon Ball Z. They kind of feel like it's written by a DC Marvel comic book writer. Wouldn't this be interesting? Goku finally throws in the towel. I'm like, no. We don't want that type of story. You keep that for Fantastic Four or whatever. Like, they just don't fit Dragon Ball Z. And that new direction doesn't make it Dragon Ball Z anymore. Like, it loses its charm immediately. I don't want to see Dragon Ball Z in through the eyes of a berserker, a tent. Like, let Dragon Ball Z be as colorful as it is. Like, that's what makes Dragon Ball Z the perfect formula.
It's become the battle of the color palettes.
Yeah, like, make like certain things that could make sense. Like, I did value certain storylines, that kind of like, why didn't Boo absorb Bulma? You know what I'm saying? Certain things are very interesting concepts, kind of like what we discussed. The multiverse concept, like multiverses or whatever fan made, like Dragon Ball Z AF, Goku's dragon son lineage. I'm sorry, that's not working for me, man.
Yeah,
that's not working for me. He's got like 2 horns and he's half Omega Shenron. No, that's not working for me.
I feel like we keep running into like a clash of like 2 different fan bases, right? So fan bases that are kind of like us, where we're like, a transformation is cool, right? Like, we're not like against it necessarily, but we enjoy the story, we enjoy the martial art aspects, like you said, Jory, the brightness and the colors. Whereas you have the other fan base that's like, we're like backflipping when they saw Gohan having the hair color scheme that they've always wanted for him, Gohan Blanco. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have that fan base also of like, we just want more forms. And it's like, it's hard to get like a story that does like a good balance of both, especially with fan projects.
If it like these things aren't bad, like, but there was no foreshadowing of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you had foreshadowing of it, people would have easily accepted it.
Yeah.
Like, I, in my mind, knew there were different color rings for the Green Lantern Corps. Right? I said, man, what if there was a Red Lanterns? Boom, there's Red Lanterns, and you see what they're based off of, and what the concepts are interesting concepts. Yeah, like, basically, like, these concepts, they got to do foreshadowing. Yeah, foreshadowing. They got to do foreshadowing. I'm thinking about art. They got to do foreshadow. If they did the foreshadowing, that'd be good. But Dragon Ball Z's foreshadowing is not there. It's never been there. Only sometimes. But that's Dragon Ball.
Which is why, like, I think that's why it's like, sometimes it's hard to critique some of this fan stuff. Of like, they're just doing what we're getting from the official art and like official company anyway, right? So even Legend of a Dragon Ball Tale, where Goku ends up breathing fire and gets this weird like hybrid form to team up with Vegeta, I'm like, this is completely random out of nowhere, but not off brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, Goten and Trunks, being able to do a kamikaze ghost substitution in Dragon Ball Deliverance, completely out of nowhere, but not off brand.
It's not. It's not. It's great concepts, right? Like, okay, Oob having a symbiotic relationship with that. That was a cool concept. But do I want that? I've seen that already in with with Venom. I don't want Venom Oob. I don't. Like it just.
But
I
we
don't.
want, but that's the other part though. Like we want anything with Oob. Oob has been 4 years old for the past 10 years in Dragon Ball Super.
I personally don't understand the hype of Oob, but
I think it's the
but hey,
potential. It's like here's a chance to do Gohan right, almost. Like here's this potential who actually wants to train and like stay focused on being an Earth protector, and they're just like, nope, he'll never grow up. He's Peter Pan of the Dragon Ball land.
yeah, like Clark Kent Gohan is it's just
cool.
not. It is cool,
it's
right?
Cool. But not,
it's not.
Yeah, but
it's not. And my thing is, I don't like what Toyo Toro did with Trunks and Goten. Like he took all the sauce that they had. They're like not cool.
Gosh,
they're like he made them so not cool.
The
The end.
F, like you mean to tell me 2 kids Super Saiyans are not equipped to fight Frieza?
And I'm like, man,
the ones who y'all made the saviors to fight Majin Buu.
Okay. And almost did it. Almost did it.
Yeah, it almost did it. You just
and I'm like, yo, y'all destroyed my favorite sub characters ever. Like Kid Trunks is like your perfect Dennis the Menace, and then he perfect Dennis the Menace, and he gets his innocent friend, who's also gets his friend who's more like Weaver the Beaver, right? And also gets him in trouble. And it's like they're the perfect duo that you didn't need, that you didn't know you needed or you wanted, and they bring great joy to the Dragon Ball Z universe. Those kids were my favorite part of Dragon. They saved Dragon Ball Z season 3 with that Buu saga. They saved the Buu saga, right? I didn't know I needed these kids. And then you could have, there's so many, and then like the way Dragon Ball Z's ending was to see how close of a brotherhood that Trunks and Goten had was like, man, I want to see these dudes, man. They're gonna be like Jonathan and well, not quite like Jonathan, but gosh, I can't believe I forgot his name, man.
Damien?
No, Jonathan. When I say Jonathan from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you feel me? Yeah, Jonathan Joestar.
Oh, Jonathan
Joseph Joestar and
Caesar.
Caesar, yeah, Caesar. You feel me? Like duels, man. Like that's how you do it. And it's like they don't
do anything. They're just
only thing I give him credit to is he's finally drawn people of color, like
they should have been
good.
Yeah,
like not no Mantan,
which is one thing that's like, again, with some of the fan art projects, right? Like, again, going back to Dragon Ball Deliverance, like I like the fact that they gave Trunks and Goten a dedicated fight scene, right? That had stakes, that had techniques, that had these things of like, we're gonna make these characters important and things like that. It's just like, it's just not done enough, right? Of like, it's not done in a way of like, why do all things circle back to these same plot points over and over and over and over again? Why does Cell have to come back and kill Pan in front of Gohan in this fan art story? What if Raditz turned good and trained?
Gohan needs to feel pain like Superman.
Yeah,
did.
It's like, so I guess the answer, our summation of all of our thoughts is like, I think it's one of those things where like, I think fan projects have, it's like it's brand material. The potential is there. Sometimes the groundwork is there, and the execution is.
What if Clawdor comes back and slices off Nami's head in front of Luffy, and then Luffy turns to Dark Luffy?
Plot lines you get with these fan projects of like,
what if somebody gets grape juiced? In Dragon Ball Z, that's what I'm like. Yo, listen, we not Watchmen, dog. Hell,
right?
You feel me?
What if somebody gets grape juice? Kid Buu? What difference would it have made?
Like who cares? He would have been confetti.
For me, I'm all right. When it comes to transformations, I'm a one and done type of person, or I like to see a gradual progression. Like Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, and then of course 4 was like the ending. Okay, cool. But then, but I also feel like when it comes to long-term shows like this, you need to focus more about techniques
Technique.
that you can utilize. And one, I know Joey is going to be very proud of this. A very prime example of that was when Luffy fought Katakuri. Like how he had to intertwine between Bound Man and Snake Man. Like you had these two forms, but you had to maximize your techniques with both of them to defeat this guy.
Yeah,
Katakuri still to me is
and then
wow.
And then even the Tournament of Power. I like the Universe 6 Saiyans because they brought a revival back to Super Saiyan 1 and 2. Like they revived those forms for me because now I kind of feel like if you're not going blue or God form, you're just nothing. Like, nope. Kefla was like, come get these hands.
Yeah,
I think you know what Dragon Ball Z needs to treat their their transformations like power branches. Like if you decide to go blue, you won't be able to do these things anymore.
Yeah.
Like they need to like, and if there is a technique that you can do, but you're gonna have to start from ground one to be to turn Super Saiyan again. Like there needs to be ancient themes on being Super Saiyan. Like you can't just become both. You know what I'm saying? Like I like like the Avatar, what they did when lava bending's a part of earth bending. I'm like, but that makes sense.
It's a branch.
That makes sense. It's a branch.
Just like metal bending, but then only
metal bending. Yeah, you feel me?
There's a small percentage of lava benders.
It's a small percentage of lava benders. Not everybody can do it. It's a small percentage of metal benders, or and then like, oh yeah, you're never gonna be able to fly if you're an earthbender, but an airbender can. You feel me? And so like these things.
But the only way to fly, you got to give up all your earthly attachments,
which is fine. Like George was saying, there's a trade-off.
Crazy concept though, right? I mean, but to me, that's one of the greatest foreshadowings in an anime too.
Yeah.
I mean, in a cartoon, like his favorite person, who he was not an earthbender. I mean, an airbender. His favorite person was an airbender, and he envied the ability. And then finally, through chance, he becomes one. And what does he do with it? Anarchy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like like Dragon Ball Z power scaling needs to be treated like Nin on certain, for me and my thing. And when I say that, because like, okay, if you're gonna do blue, you can't go red. You can't do certain things anymore. If you decide to become this type of Super Saiyan, you lose the ability to shoot Ki Blast. Give me something. They ain't gonna do that. Nah, they ain't gonna do that. Taijutsu Dragon Ball Z user.
Like, parachute thought, right? Of martial artists using martial arts, right? In the martial arts series.
But to be honest, I felt like the God transformations were pointless because like when you introduce Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego, it's like, all right, that actually makes more sense because it's more of a divine connection towards the gods and the angels. So like these two forms you kind of just introduced kind of felt pointless to me.
But I feel like that's the thing that he come back to with Dragon Ball is like it's pointless because they made it pointless. Like that's what these forms are gonna lose their luster when you like. There's something to be said about the Tournament of Power where every single other opponent Goku and Vegeta are going blue. It's like it throws the entire scaling of like, okay, so you're telling me that this dog man required you to go into a god form to fight him. But yet you're fighting Jiren and Super Saiyan. Why? Like it just, like, which is one thing I did like about Daima so far. Daima has done a good job of making Super Saiyan kind of matter, right? Like when Goku goes Super Saiyan against a Tamagami, it's like a big thing. Against Glorio, it's a big thing. Vegeta going Super Saiyan 3 is a big thing. But we know that like these are things until they're not, because that's just Dragon Ball.
And Vegeta doing a display of mastery of 3.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was, I'm like, man, that's great. But guess what?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, and he doesn't do it in Super.
In the words of Owlman, before that planet blows up, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
So I guess, yeah, in summation of the question, I think it's something where it's like they're appreciated. I think the animation quality that we're starting to see from fans now these days are on another level, right? Like, I think that's why we're starting to see more of these viral artists, viral animators get hired by these studios to do certain cuts for certain things because they do have a level of talent that is refreshing from a visual
Oh yeah,
perspective.
like I don't know if y'all seen that One Punch Man uh blast observing the fight between Garo and Saitama,
yes.
and there was no movement involved. It was
Yes.
just still shots. My goodness,
Yes.
that was crazy.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that,
And he's not doing season 2, 3. Okay.
and I think that's something that, like, I think that we all appreciate as long time fans. Like, it's nice to see the fans like grabbing the Thanos glove and saying, "I'll do it myself." But I think the writing is it's just not usually there. There's always something that you're kind of like, okay, right? Even Dragon Ball Deliverance, I'm like, yes. Seeing Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta drop Broly off the top rope into the planet, it was beautiful. Would go on and really have lost like the way he does in episode 2? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just certain things I'm like, I guess. You know, so I think it's one of those things where, like, I hope to one day we'll see like the Avengers of fan animation into getting something that we all are truly tied into. But I don't know. I don't know when that day will come.
Writers.
Yeah, I don't know when that day will come.
No. Nobody has the patience to become a good writer.
Yeah.
It's too much layering. It's too. You have to create another human being. Nobody wants to do that anymore.
Yeah, you have to create a character that can feel believable in this fictional setting, and it's like
only Oda, because he was working on these characters when he was 17.
For real.
So
for real, bro.
Only Oda.